Hello, my friends. Today in this episode, we are going to understand psychological experience from the perspective of relational non-duality. So first of all, generally we have such an understanding like physiological experience, like what we touch, what we smell, what we hear, that is direct in contact with something else. So that is forming relationship with something else. But our psychological experience, that is just in our own inner world, is in our own mind. But, however, maybe, just maybe, we can understand it also in a relational way, such as anger, such as anxiety, sadness, and happiness. Maybe the essence of these feelings, this emotion itself is relational. So in last episode, I kept mentioning about putting your hand on the disk and you feel the hardness of this disk or this table. So in this process, how you feel about this hardness of this table, is this hardness is the property of this table? Not really. It is the result of the relationship. It's the result of this relational field between your hand and this table. So if you're curious about how physiological experience emerged, how it manifested, please watch the previous episode. So basically, this is how we understand our physiological experience. What about our psychological experience then? So actually, our psychological experience is the same logic. When you feel offended, this feeling of offendedness, it's not the words about that person said. The words itself is like that. Because the same words, if another person hear it, they might feel okay. Some words, yes, it can be harsh, but it not necessarily manifest our anger to different people. But some people feel it, some people don't. Why? Because it's relational. It's related to your own identity, your memory, your value, what you experience in life, or even your trauma. So that's why something might trigger you so much, might not trigger another person. So that is why our psychological experience can be so subjective. But it doesn't mean that it's only in your mind, because just as we mentioned, it involved in so many other factors, and all those factors about your memory, your value, all of these things, they are all the result of the relationships in your previous events in your life, what happened in your memory, what happened in your past. So all of these are relational. It's not just about how your brain think, how you think right now. It's related to so many other factors as well. So this reveals a fact that sometimes we ignored. That is, our psychological experience is not just the inner. It's not just the inside of our mind, our heart, our feelings. No, it's not like that. It's not just the inner world. It's always open and it's always in relationship with the outside world as well. So when you feel the emotion is like wave, manifesting and unmanifesting all the time. That wave essentially is not about your inner world is waving. It's about the relationship itself is waving. That's the essence of our psychological experience. It's the wave, it's the relationship itself. So when we see this clear, the dualistic thinking of outside world and inside world, of consciousness and our material or physical body will not be that extremely dualistic anymore. You wouldn't think in that way anymore, because you will see they are just all in the one relational web, in the one relational field. It's just when we think about it in dualistic way, we separate them as outside and inside, but in reality, it's not. So now, let's understand this manifestation with that simple drawing again. First step, second step, third step, and this is the threshold. And as I explained the physiological experience with this, and now I'm going to explain the psychological experience with this again. First of all, let's understand the manifestation threshold. So we already discussed the threshold for physiological experience in last episode, which is, we just have the certain range of frequency we can hear, certain range of smell that we can smell, and all of this is already fixed. But what about our psychological experience? What is the threshold for that? Because our mind or our heart, we will not directly involve or directly in contact of the outside world. We don't directly. It's the second step. The first step is we forming contact with the outside world, and then that's the inner experience, that's the inner emotion, etc. So what actually determines this threshold then? And this is the part is quite magical, and we all can feel it and experience it by our own life. That is, people can actually make it different, to make it personal. Like somebody, their threshold for certain emotions can be very high. Somebody for certain emotion can be really low about the threshold. Like somebody, just a little thing happened and they could just be so angry, they cannot tolerate it, they can just be so exaggerating about the situation. But somebody, even in really difficult and tough situation, they still can remain a peaceful mind and, relatively speaking, a positive attitude. So how could this happen? How could it be so different? That is the threshold. That is the threshold. And this is why I always say before, when we talk about other topics, I always say that the real, doesn't matter what you can call it a spiritual path or just the self-improvement, about all of these things. The priority is to train your strength in your mind, to have a powerful strength, strength for mind. That is the priority. It's not to seeking for some certain high or certain inspiration or so-called awakening. I mean, eventually, what really matters is to have a very powerful mind that can have strength to deal with this. It is like your immunity to deal with the negativity. And that is the threshold. And based on your free will, based on your power, you can make this threshold a lot higher or a lot lower, depends on different things. Like for example, if something can easily trigger another person to be angry, if you try hard enough, you can just higher this threshold. So that means only when things gets really bad can trigger you, and the effect will not as strong as somebody can easily get triggered to be angry. So this is how we adjust it. This is how our free will evolved. It's about the threshold here. And then let's understand the first step, standing wave. So what actually contribute for this manifestation of our emotions or our thoughts or any kind of psychological experience? What actually contributes to it? I would suggest there are at least 3 factors. The first one is your attention. So if you really pay a lot of attention on something, on your feeling right now, and that is obviously you are focusing on it. When you're focusing on it, you are feeling it. That is why we said, if you feel sad, stop feeding your negativity, stop feeding it. Because when you pay attention, it's like the battery, you're just charging it. When you're charging it, of course, it will maintain here, maintenance. That's why, because you pay a lot of attention on it. And the second factor contribute to the standing wave stage, I would suggest is our will, our free will. So if you really, for example, you feel happy, you feel peaceful, and you want this to maintain, you want this to last, that itself is already will. And this kind of will help you to maintain it. I'm not saying like you are seeking for high or something. I'm suggesting a peaceful mind, a peaceful, just simple happiness. And things like this is just beneficial for our health, for the society, for everyone, because it's harmony. The essence is harmony. There is no reason to unmanifest this kind of experience because it's beautiful and there's no harm for experience like this. So when we have experience like something peaceful, something positive, and something nice, we can try to use our free will, use our participation to maintain it. At the same time, if there's something really negative, then we use our free will to stop maintaining it, to stop feeding this kind of emotion, like negativity, like anger, like sadness. So our will also contribute a lot about the standing wave and maintenance as well. And then I would suggest is our interaction with the outside world, so-called outside world, which is also involved our physical body, involved with what we do, because we already understand everything is in relationship, is a relational field. You cannot suggest that if outside whatever happened will not affect your mind, because if you want to achieve that, you rather be numb, or you just completely don't care about anything outside world, and that is not where relational non-duality stand. And I always say it very clearly. We are not going to renounce from the world. We are participating in this world in a balanced, harmonious way. As simple as that. And the third stage, which is the last stage, is dissolving. Actually, when we try to understand our psychological experience, it's easier to understand the concept of manifestation. Because we always know that your thoughts, your emotions is endless. You can suddenly have thoughts like this and like that. They are like fireworks, they are like waves. Suddenly, one of these thoughts, one of another emotion is always like that. Essentially, what really makes you feel right now is which kind of emotion and which kind of thoughts you pay a lot of attention on it. That's why you are feeling it. You make this standing wave manifested. But essentially, your mind, your thoughts, your emotion is like endless of potentiality. That is what we so-called subconsciousness. So when your certain feeling or certain thoughts about something, your psychological experience based on your psychological activity, it arises, it actually manifested. Eventually it will dissolve, because a lot of feelings, as we just mentioned, they are just rise and fall. About some positive emotions, you can try your best to maintain it. Yes, you can. But for most of the emotions in your life, you will have to just let it go. That is just how it is. But I'm not saying that you just let go of everything, like you say it in such a very sad way, or everything just come and go and there is nothing can last forever. Love cannot last forever. Happiness cannot last forever. The thing is, depends on how you understand it. If you understand it as something still, it's like you want a like standing wave like this, just here frozen, that's impossible, right? It will like this, manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest. So the point is that if you have a very happy, peaceful, harmonious experience, then you keep manifesting it. And so this is forever fresh. You can keep it. That's how we have a happy life. If you don't even try, then you just don't even try to manifest some happy or harmonious emotions or feelings, and then you probably will naturally manifest a lot of negativity, because you feel everything is just so sad, nothing can last forever. So this is also part of our free will, about our choice and about our life attitude, as I mentioned in last episode. It's quite important. So anyway, this is how it works about our psychological experience, from standing wave to maintenance to dissolve. and essentially depends on our threshold. So what kind of experience, psychological experience, we let it manifested? What kind of psychological experience we don't let it manifested because we rise up the threshold? And that is one of the biggest wisdom, and it requires a lot of practice and efforts as well. You cannot just think about it. You have to practice in your daily life to try to build your tolerance, to build your strength, your mental strength. And that's a long way to go. Another thing is that we already mentioned, everything is relational, and including our psychological experience. Even though we always feel like, some type of teaching, they're telling you that you can have full control, or you can keep your mind completely kind of like separate from the outside world. You will not be affected by whatever happened. But the thing is, I believe that's too extreme, because if we really want to enjoy a harmonious life, that means we need to realize ourselves as one node of this relational web, that we need to participate in the life. We cannot just shut down our sensory or our psychological experience to the outside world. Otherwise, that is not something alive anymore. So that means where I stand is that we will have to participate in life, but we will just learn the power, we'll learn the strength to balance it. And this is what is the most important. We not escape, we not hide, and we not deny. We just balance it. And this is where require most of the wisdom and practice. But we have to do it. If you want a happy and harmonious life, then you have to do it. And also it reminds us that it matters. It matters about what you hear, about what you see, about the environment, and what kind of information you receive, what kind of information you resonate with the outside world. As last episode we already said, right? When you watch something, when you hear something, it's not just like passively you're receiving the information. No, when it actually gets into you, it's about the resonance. You resonate with some kind of information, with sound, with the visual pictures or whatever. And things like this, of course, it will affect you. It might not directly manifest as an emotion or thoughts, but it definitely will affect your subconsciousness. So if we want to have a positive attitude, then you have to at least try your best to stay away from those chaotic informations or negative informations. You have to build your positive mindset based also by the assistance of what you see, what you hear. And this is important as well. I think we should know that, be more realistic. We know that we have a lot of potential to have a lot of mental strength, but I don't think is a wise thing to do to deliberately to challenge it in extreme condition. Like you put yourself, for example, in a drug community, and or even if you try it and you say, "Oh, my mind is strong, it's powerful, I can handle it, I will not be addicted." I mean, I don't think people should do that, because if it's unnecessary danger, we should avoid it. As the episodes talking about this already discussed a lot. So I would suggest that we should be carefully to choosing what we're receiving, what we interact with the world as well. Doesn't mean you will shut down your world, of course not. But you should be wisely choosing what you're receiving, about what you hear, about what you see, about what you touch. Because in this relational field, eventually these things, this information you receive, eventually it will affect your mental state. It's like for sure it will. It's just a matter of time. So anyway, I mean, today's topic is very simple. And again, one thing I want to say is about our attitude. We got two attitudes about what we just discussed all. One is you think it about in a negative angle, then you will just want to shut down your world. You just want to shut down your inner world to the outside world. You build a fence there, so nothing can affect you anymore. So that's a very like negative approach. And then relational non-duality is always suggesting that we should have a more middle way, a more balanced and a positive approach, which is that we interact with the world, just use our wisdom, and also we should build our tolerance, we build our mental strength, we adjust our threshold for our experience, for our psychological experience manifestation, use our free will, and never give up the hope. Don't give up your will. Use your attention on something which is worthy to put your attention on. And also use the assistance of your physical body, of the world, the interaction with the world. Like when you feel really so stressful, that's why people are always suggesting when you feel stressful, just breathe. Why? Because eventually it will affect your mental state. Even this is by a physiological action. It's all interacted. It's all interconnected. So I don't think there is something more complicated. It's nothing complicated about this part at all, isn't it? And I use the simple drawing again to explain this. Well, at least I think it does make sense. If there is any thoughts you would like to share, any experience you'd like to share, please let me know. Just leave a message in the comment section. And also, if you like my channel, you found it interesting or inspiring, please subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.